That Mr. Bean game was exhausting. Christ, how did that video become over 30 minutes long? Well, I'm just glad it's over. I need a good long break from making videos, I think. Hey, you know, this game has a really good intro. Hey, I should make a video about that. First impressions are important. If a stranger walks up to you in the street and slaps you, you'll probably hate them forever. The same goes for video games, minus the slapping. If a game sucks at the start, it's very likely it will suck throughout. I mean, it's not like anybody would want to try to get past the first level in something like Superman 64. If something appears bad, it's very easy to assume that it is bad. Basic human logic. But good first impressions can mean a whole lot, especially to such a diverse medium like gaming. But sometimes, you can tell if a game is good or not before you even begin playing. Hell, even before you reach the main menu. And that is through the opening sequence. Showing off the gameplay, setting up the story, or just being awesome, a good intro really adds to the experience, I think. It's the first thing and the last thing you see each and every time you play the game, from beginning to end. It's always there. So today, I'll be counting down my 5 personal favourite opening sequences from video games. Because, you know, every other reviewer also does countdowns, and I'm already so unoriginal it doesn't even matter by this point. Anyway, rules are simple. 1. I class an opening sequence as a video that plays before the title screen. 2. Only one per franchise. And 3, of course, it is just my opinion. And for the record, Persona 3 won't be on here. Foreshadowing? Oh, and lastly, if you're wondering why I chose this topic, it's mainly because finding footage for it is really easy, so yeah. It's also because this is my first countdown. You could say my opening to doing countdowns, eh? Why am I so weird? Let's start simple. We all like cute things, right? Well, what's cuter than a crocodile? Sentient fur with limbs, that's what. Yeah, I got nothing. So yeah, Croc is an odd case. The game itself, while full of charm, fun, and goddamn uncontrollably dangerous levels of adorableness, it's kinda meh. I mean, it's enjoyable enough, but the controls have their issues, and the level design can be very bare at times. But despite its problems, if one thing is for certain about Croc, it's that it's goddamn adorable, and the intro is a perfect show of this. It starts with Croc as a baby, arriving in a basket, which is bloody miserable to think about this darling little baby being discarded by his parents. In the ocean! However, some equally adorable creatures, called the Gobos, find him by the bank and instantly decide to race him. We then observe Croc, growing up and developing around all the Gobos, running in races, learning to fight, and god, it's so cute my eyes hurt. The plot also gets set here as well, even if it makes no fucking sense. It basically involves this big Bowser wannabe with the Annapurna chin, coming in and capturing the Gobos for... yeah, I don't know either. But regardless, the visuals are eye candy, the film itself is adorable, and yeah, the music is beautiful and perfect for the scene. I also love how it keeps changing to fit the mood of each part of the intro, such as the darker sound once the villain has entered, and the innocent sounding melody when Croc is trying to walk but just can't manage it yet. So overall, it deserves its place at number 5, for just how good a representation it is of the game ahead, and a great show of what Croc does best. Cuteness. Even if it does end on a pretty depressing note. Poor guy. Something good doesn't have to be majorly complex. In fact, I believe a little can go a long way. The most important thing to remember with an opening to anything really is that it should be a fitting preparation for what's ahead for the viewer. If you're hosting a cooking show, you don't want to have, say, action music or something. It's a cooking show, it's not supposed to be intimidating. Well, anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't have to have anime levels of effort put into it. If it works, it works. Sometimes, not even music is required. Example? Tomb Raider. Now, while I enjoyed the original Tomb Raider, there were aspects of it that weren't so appealing to me. The game's definitely seen better days, and the gameplay borders on repetitive quite a few times I thought. I also could stand the save system that basically requires you to resource management with your saving. Once you've saved at a point, that's it. You can't save at that spot ever again. It led me to a lot of frustration, but maybe I'm just crap at the game. Who knows? But despite what I didn't like about it, the game as a whole is great. Such an isolated and lonely atmosphere. Perfect for exploring untouched ancient temples, filled with more spikes than a graph depicting my lack of desire to socialise. Oh wait! The game is also marvellous in its design and structure, and, though quite basic, the story has some really interesting moments I thought. The opening to Tomb Raider is great at setting up said story as well, and sets a very appropriate tone. It starts with a big explosion in a deserted desert. In the wake of the explosion lies this weird life sport thing and... wait, shit, there's someone in there? Following this, we see Lara, for the very first time back in the day, encounter some guy called Larson, who introduces her to the head of the powerful Natla Technologies, who wishes to obtain an ancient artifact called the Scion. Excited by the promise of a new exploration, Lara accepts. And that's it. Pretty damn simple. But what I love about it though, apart from the cool cinematics, is the sound effects and how they're used, like the creepy machine humming in the test tube, and the chatter and background noise of the hotel. It's just such a fitting atmosphere, and sets a great tone for the game to follow. Also, I can't tell if the voice acting and scripting is either really solid, or so cheesy it's good, but either way, I find this a very memorable intro, and it has so much mystery to it. What an appropriate way to start a franchise like this.
Here we go. Performance for you. If you know the words, you can join in too.
Hey, I think it'll be funnier if I don't give any reasoning. Next. Okay, fine. God, I must sound like an idiot, but I actually really like this. It's so iconic, but only because of how terrible it is. I mean, you can really tell how little Rare cared about making a serious intro, and it's clear how much fun they were having making this most amusing shit show. Though Donkey Kong 64 isn't Rare's proudest achievement, I find quite a bit of enjoyment in this game for its interesting, albeit poor, level design, and such things such as visuals and sound. But regardless of the game, this is certainly an opening that nobody is ever going to forget. Sadly. It's so stupid and cringy that it's genuinely hilarious. So good job, Rare. Frankly, I'm not mad about fighting games. Don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of fun with them in the past, but I feel that balance is key in any game to some degree, and fighting games can be very easy to tip said balance. Always never in my favour. I guess what I should say is that I do like fighting games, but only if I'm by myself. Like everything else. I guess maybe another reason I'm not a huge fan of them is just because I haven't played many of them, but enough to make an opinion. But one fighting game I've played and goddamn loved is Tekken 3, and holy shit, is this a good opening. Now, I'm not going to go into a vast amount of depth here, but I love Tekken 3 for its slick controls, awesome soundtrack, and generous amount of varied content. The characters are also really damn interesting, good word choice, and all have such a different feel to each other. I think that's what I like most about this game's introductory sequence. You get to see pretty much every main character doing something badass, and the video is so well put together. The music starts up as we see Hayachi stepping out of this helicopter, and then explodes as we see Paul Phoenix kick this generic guy into a mesh fence. From here on, the music and video kicks ass, showing off all the characters, their skills and personalities really well. The action keeps coming and is ever changing, just like the music. All building up to a crazy explosion jump, and ending on a scene setting up perfectly for the plot. I would explain it in a little more detail, but so much is going on and it's all so cool I can't possibly do it justice. And more significantly, certainly can't be bothered to type it all out. If you wanna, go give it a search. It's a badass opening to a badass game. Wow, how did the PlayStation 1 have so many good videos? I think what I like most about the startup to Tekken 3 is how it creates an appropriate feel for the game ahead, as well as showing us the characters and laying out the basics of the storyline, all accompanied with some awesome choreography and music that all sync up fantastically and have a really good flow. But I think my choice for number 1 does all the good things that Tekken 3 did, but to a far better degree. And not only that, but this was my first taste on what has become one of my favourite series as of recently, and I've only played 2 games. A bit of a weird choice here. I've honestly only played this and Persona 3, but I already adore what this series is doing. Now, Persona Q means a lot to me, and I could probably write an essay on it, but I won't waste everyone's time with that. A lot of people would probably prefer Persona 3's opening to this, but like I said, this was the very first glimpse of Persona I had, and damn did it draw me in. But personal experiences to one side, what really makes this a great intro for me is just how well it incorporates everything I liked about the other entries in this list. Not only does it manage to do what Tekken 3 did, by setting the tone for what's to come, really damn well I might add, but it also introduces the story and characters fantastically well too. But that's not all. Like Tomb Raider, there's quite a few questions to be raised. What's this crying blood? What does this teddy bear have to do with it? What are these? Eh? There's definitely a strong sense of mystery to this opening too, which helps us to anticipate for when the answers may be revealed. Also, the character designs. Though I love the original designs, somehow they've managed to make everyone freaking adorable, but still have their designs fit perfectly for their characters. But not only does this intro excel in its material and visuals, the music is some of the catchiest I've ever heard in a game. Like, catchy to the point where you can't sleep at night. As happened to me. Also, although I try to explain what was happening in the other intros, it's the same with Tekken 3. There's just so much going on that I couldn't possibly manage to explain it. The protagonists walking by with the other characters appearing, the camera zooms with the silhouettes, the music crossed with this part. It's just so well synchronized and satisfying to watch because of that. The music just works so damn well for what's happening. It's also happy, cute and energizing, yet goddamn dark at moments too. Just like the game. And as I said previously, everything that made me like the other entries is present here too. So in my opinion, this is what makes it the best video game opening sequence I've seen thus far. I feel like a bit of a weep now, but there was no way I could have chosen anything else for the number 1 spot. Anyway, that's the end of the countdown, and that's another thing checked off on my unoriginality list. What's next? So, if you want to share your opinion too, then why not compile a list of your own in the comments? I'd love to see what you guys think too. Alright, we're getting there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed making it. Whatever it is you do today, I hope it goes well, and I'll see you whenever it is I see you again. Or if I ever do, whatever. Later.